It's your buddy and host here, Jack Woltering, bringing you a very special and fun episode today, talking about the Florida medicinal cannabis scene. And this episode is brought to you by the T-Check 2 potency tester. You know, I use this thing all the time in my videos, whether I'm testing infused butter, coconut oil, olive oil. It even has a flower expansion kit. It can do tinctures. Love this thing. I'll put a link below and a discount code TrueBuds will get you $25 off. Today we have Adam Barta on the show, actor, reality star, and musician. He has been a true bud for a long time and really loves the theme song, which I'm going to play here in just a moment, which means a lot coming from someone who has had four multiple charting singles on the Billboard dance chart.
Yeah, this is True Buzz, that Mary J. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, talking edibles and bringing comedy. Let's get it, time to pass it to the left and we can have a smoke session. Hey, yeah, true love for my True Buzz, light it up and I'm on it. This vibe take me way back, screaming I got 5 on it. Indica to sativa, anything that you need, break it down like the weed. This is True Buzz TV. True Buzz, I'm a stoner, I'm a smoker. It's a hobby, it's a lifestyle and a culture, yeah, yeah. True Buzz, vibing out in California. Come and take a ride with the squad while we roll up, ay, ay. True Buzz, yeah, this is True Buzz. True Buzz, yeah, this is True Buzz. True Buzz, yeah, this is True Buzz. True Buzz, yeah, this is True Buzz.
So I'm excited to talk to Adam about several things today, not only like the content you're making and what you're doing, but also just cannabis in general, because I know you're on the Florida scene. We were talking before this, and we've been kind of messaging for a while through TrueBud. So it's good to have you today, man.
Yeah, I'm so honored to, as I, it's so honored to be here. Yeah, I was telling you, it's funny because, I work with a lot of celebrities and YouTubers and whatever, and I don't get like ever really that nervous. Not that I'm nervous, but with you, it was like, it was a little starstruck because I'm like, oh my God, I want you like every day. Like all my strains come from you. Like I get all my information. Like this is so fun for me. And this is out of my normal. So I'm so happy to be here.
It's great to have you here, and that makes me feel really good. It really does. So the fact that you're tuning in, and I've told people about like the song too. Like I was like, Adam loves this song. Yeah, you've tuned in on a couple lives too. I'm giving you a shout out. I'm like, I'm ready for your remix, man.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get real. I like the remix, but the original was just a 10 out of 10 for me. That song is like, that is one of the best theme songs I've ever heard. And I think you should remix it and put all these different versions out, but definitely keep that first original. It's just so perfect. So perfect.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I was saying I want you to remix it with your talent.
Oh, me? I could throw like a verse on it, like maybe, like I did with 1QQ Finder. She had me come in on her song. So yeah, totally. If you want me to, I could throw a verse in there and probably do something, take a few hits and come up with something fun.
Dope. And before we start diving into more of the weed stuff, tell the audience a little more about what you do and kind of we can start from there.
Sure. So, I mean, a lot of people know me from the Howard Stern show, mostly. I'm always on there with Tan Mom, and she's like this character on there, and I'm known as her like producer, songwriter, partner. So, we had a couple big songs out on Sirius on the Howard Stern show. And then people also know me as like this reality TV star. I've done these crazy stuff. I was on the Dr. Miami show where I had plastic surgery in front of America. And then, I'm friends with Mama June and doing some stuff with her. And then last year, I kind of pivoted a little bit with the pandemic and I dived headfirst into YouTube. People say like, you only have a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube. How are you such a big celebrity? It's because I never fostered it. And you will definitely, I'm sure agree to this. It's two separate mediums. YouTube is its own monster, and growing your YouTube channel, you can be like, Julia Roberts, and you would start from the beginning because it's so hard, but it really builds your audience, I think, YouTube, which is why I kind of gravitated toward it last year. And, I've been taking off ever since, just, it's kind of like throwing all these things. And I've been learning all of the studio techniques. I've been watching, I just seen as another YouTuber who does like all the tech stuff. And she kind of is my guidepost for all the stuff I have to get. I'm learning this all from scratch. So, a year later, here we are, and I'm doing YouTube.
Well, and it's blowing up too. And what you got going on looks nice right now with the green screen. Is it the camera? Is that a camera lens behind you? Or
Yeah, it's a
is
camera.
that the
Yeah, this is
world? Or is that
the
like
background. Yeah, this is
yeah,
all
yeah.
green screen. I'm actually in my own green screen studio, and it took us. So my other secret weapon is my roommate partner is a IT guy. So I don't know anything about computers. He has mapped out the internet, the computer, the camera, the audio. So like if I were here, I would probably be like on a 240 webcam, filming something. But so he upped my game. He's my secret weapon. And we're like, my goal is to produce like broadcast quality shows, because I think that's what YouTube is becoming. It's becoming like a medium for people like you and me to have our own TV shows. They're shows that people watch on TV. So let's treat them as such. We're making money and we're all putting our heart and soul into it. So why not?
True that, true that. And with the show, have you thought about doing some cannabis style episodes at all, including that in Arsenal?
So, what's funny is last year there was a channel called the THC channel. I think it was on Pluto, and we used to watch that all the time. And when we first started our channel out, I was like, we could do this. Like, let's put out a channel or a content for this THC channel and do like these marijuana things. The problem was what you and I kind of discussed earlier was with these things, as you're doing them, I completely lose focus. So, there's only so far I can go with this. And then I feel like I can't put my all into it. So it's like, it becomes a labor of love, I think, that goes nowhere, or kind of went nowhere, because we would just get so high and we wouldn't be able to finish the damn segment. So kudos to you for being able to pull it off much, much better than we did. But we're definitely open to cannabis stuff, cannabis sponsorships, cannabis, whatever in the future. So
Awesome, awesome. And that's a good segue to kind of dive in and talk about the Florida scene a little bit.
yes, I can't wait. I mean, I've been here for a little context about me. I started smoking. I got my medical marijuana card in, I think it was 2018. And, the doctor diagnosed me with anxiety disorder. And, a lot of traumatic stuff happened in the early 2010s with my mom passing. So kind of was at a point where I was like, 35 years old, never done marijuana, never really had any drugs or anything of any kind. And having these episodes with being anxious and depression, all these feelings I've never had before. So long story short, I fell in love with, cannabis and CBD. And it was just, I equivocate it to like, if you have a migraine headache, and that's what anxiety is like, and then you take a hit of marijuana, it's like an Advil, Excedrin PM. It's like, release, my head's not pounding, my heart's not pounding. So that's kind of what marijuana is to me. It's, and it as fun as it is too, it brings euphoria and all that stuff. It really, like, at its core, I think it's so crucial as a medicinal tool, for people like me that suffer, and people that have any kind of pain, I think, frankly, because there's no reason I think that it shouldn't be legal everywhere, obviously. But the scene in Florida, circling back to that, is it's really robust. I haven't had experience with much elsewhere other than, I would say, New York and maybe California, but and it's been very little. But the Florida scene is very robust and it's growing. It's really growing. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. But you know something crazy I literally read yesterday as I was trying to come up with some stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, have you seen? I saw this literally yesterday. Is this 10% THC thing?
What's that? Is it like a CB, like a hybrid
Here,
ratio?
no, it's like let me see if I can pull it up. It was coming through backwards for me. Just let me see. Just tell me, is that backwards for you if you're reading it?
No, nope.
No.
It's up there. Florida House passed the THC limit. Yes, I
Yes.
saw. Okay. Yep.
Yep. So they're trying to do this 10% THC limit basically on people who are underage, under 21 or something. They're trying to pass. I guess it just passed the reps or whatever.
Huh.
But I literally just saw this and I'm like, that's so interesting. Like what's the, I can put it back on for a second too, but it's like, what's the what, it just sounds so stupid to me, to be quite honest.
Well, our governor here in Florida is horrendous. I mean, I don't know. You can cut out if you don't want me to any of this to go on.
I like it.
Political, but it's he's horrendous. His leadership is horrendous. His priorities are completely wrong. He celebrated Rush Limbaugh as a hero, and regardless of what I don't want to get into politics at all, but just tying it back to marijuana, there's a candidate, Nikki Fried, who she's a Democrat, and I think she's going to run to replace him in well, I don't even know when the next election is, but she is and she just posted this today, circling it all back, posted that article and said that she was fighting it. She was actively fighting it. I think she's currently like commissioner of agriculture or commissioner of something in Florida. but she's going to be a contender for governor, and she is so against what you just had. So if you guys follow, I would say follow Nikki Fried if you really to follow more about this and kind of see what's going on. But basically, like you said, long story short, they're trying to limit the amount of THC in the marijuana, medical marijuana. So they're kind of pushing it back from not even like pushing it as, you know, statewide, making it recreational. It's now they're trying to push back the medicinal, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah, and it doesn't. That's why when I read it too, and as I'm learning more, talking to some of these people on the podcast as well, it's like people are just going to find a different way. They'll just grow different strains that are just strong as fuck that are less than 10%. Right?
Right. Exactly.
It's like, and I don't get the benefit, you know. We're on the same page here, but it just kind of blew my mind because I was like, everything's kind of going forward, but getting that like step back a little bit maybe is like, what's like.
I think, you know, I think Florida is a very conservative state, and I'm just going to keep this like the politics contained to the marijuana regulations. Florida is like a very conservative state. So I think what's happening is, even what's funny is you go into like stores here, dispensaries here in Florida, and about 80% of the people are over the age of 60. So their consumer are elderly people, they're older people, you know, and these people I think also are conservative. So you have a mix between people that are conservative, normally would be against marijuana, and then there's people that are conservative but see that marijuana actually works medicinally and is taking it, you know, in their older years, because all the old people were tired of Florida. So I think that's kind of the conundrum that's going on, and it's kind of working against each other, because you have the people that want to prevent marijuana, like, oh, no, you know, and then you have the old people that are like, you know, yeah, we're conservative, we're old, but hey, this is something that we take to help us, like with our pain, with our arthritis, with our anxiety. So it's, I think, and that's what's happening. That's what's kind of happening. And I'm hoping that people that will outnumber the people that don't take medical marijuana. Eventually everyone will just start using it, and then all the old people will have to vote for it. So
Yeah, and they'll be like, okay. Well, what's funny with that point too is like you hear, or I've heard all the times, like older people who have smoked for so long, they're used to that low THC percentage anyway, and a lot of their stuff, so it probably wouldn't even be a big deal to them. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just hope honestly that like we get it passed, you know, federally, and kind of this whole thing just wraps up at some point in the next 4 years. I mean, Florida, I thought was so
Mhm.
close with it, and I feel like if we didn't have our governor, it would definitely have been recreational at this point. Um, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, I'm surprised it's not. So do you have your med card out there?
I do. Yeah, I have my medical card. You know, we've sampled all of the dispensaries, so I can give you the rundown on like my picks for tops and bottoms and
Oh yeah,
middles and all
I like it. Yeah, yeah. Let's.
that. Well, you know, the place that I go to the most, and the top dispensary I would say, is probably Certera Wellness. And they're very high priced. They charge like $90 or upwards of $90 for like uh, um, a gram cart. So that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
uh,
same.
However, I say, yeah, exactly. Their quality though is, you make up for it. And you know, like there's no, and we've all had, and this is going to tie into a question that I had, we've all had the THC pot hangover. You know, it is real at times, like the next day when you're kind of, you know, you're dragging and it's still, you know, you're out of it and all that kind of stuff. But with the marijuana at Certera, it's very clean. Like I never feel the next day anxious. I never feel like I need marijuana. Like it's a very good feeling. And I feel like it keeps me balanced. So that said, you know, there are dispensaries that I've gone to where another good one, by the way, is Curaleaf. Curaleaf, I think a lot of people know their stuff is a lot cheaper than Certera. It's not, I would say, not as perfect as Certera, because I've had some pot hangovers with Curaleaf, but Curaleaf is really good, and they have a variety, like a super crazy variety of strains. So if you're looking for like stuff that is very rare, your best bet is probably, I would say, Curaleaf. And they give discounts, they have promos, all that stuff, and you know, and their carts are, I would say, think around 40 to 50 for a half. So they're probably, I guess, up there in price with Sortera. But they give a lot of discounts, so it doesn't seem like it's as much. Then there are dispensaries like One Plant where they have carts for like $20, but you know, I had a panic attack once when I was smoking them, so I was like, all right, I'm good, no more. Like, So I don't know, I guess, you get what you pay for, buyer beware. So not to beware, I'm saying beware of them. I'm just saying that, they're cheaper. So I'm guessing that's why I didn't have a good experience with them. But, and another middle of the road one I would say is Trulieve. Their stuff is can be good. They have a lot of like ratio like CBD stuff. So if you're really into CBD, I think Trulieve is a good place because they have a lot of different blends that are more focused on that side. But they also have some crazy flavor. They'll have like rainbow sherbet cake glue, these crazy things that they mix together. So Trulieve is a good one to hit up too.
Now, are all these?
And
Oh, sorry to interrupt, real quick. Now, are all these kind of like franchises? Are they kind of based all over, like many
I
locations?
think I think Sortera, I believe, is only in Florida, but actually, no, I think there is a Sortera in New York. So I think they're national, but they're only in a few
No, just
states.
throughout Florida. I'm saying, like, is there a lot of like, are there a bunch of Soteras? There's a bunch of
Oh
True
yeah,
Leaves, right? It's kind of
yeah,
like,
yeah. These are all chains. Yeah, yes,
which
these
is
are all
very,
chains.
interesting. I mean, we have that kind of out here with like Medmen and maybe Cookies a little bit, but it doesn't seem quite the same. It seems more like a commercial almost, which
That's
is why
interesting.
I'm surprised it's not legal fully.
Well, so that's interesting. So then are there more when you say because that's all we have, I would say out here. We don't really have like a mom and pop type. You're saying this like place that would have it because we don't it's all they're all basically chains. There's not one that I can think of that's like Move. They're all over. Grow Healthy is another one. They're all over. Um,
Yeah, it's
yeah, I think
interesting.
they're
It's kind of yeah, it's a different model then because yeah, there's definitely some that have like several locations, but there's also a whole lot who just have one or maybe two, maybe three
wow.
or whatever. But there are a lot that are just kind of independently hustling it.
I guess that's interesting. So I guess maybe I'm sure once it becomes recreational, that's what's going to happen with here. They'll be more like mom and pop and individual
Yeah,
type places. But I think it's really regulated here. It's like it is tightly like wound. So like it's I think you have to have like all the a good amount of capital probably to start it in the first place. And for like an individual person, it's probably not worth it. So that's probably what the holdback is from there. But
I
it's
almost
growing. They're all over the place. They're like the dispensaries are exploding.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's great. That's so interesting to learn. That's why I love talking about stuff like this, is because I kind of had that vibe a little bit, but it's interesting to see the different ways that just even the dispensary layout is. Now, are there delivery services that through the dispensaries? Maybe does True Leaf have their own service, or does Sotera?
Curaleaf, I think. I think Curaleaf has so Sortera is interesting because they have like they're modeled like a bank when you go in. So they actually have a drive-through teller that like they shoot up the marijuana, you shoot out
That's
the
kind of
money in the
dope.
card.
That's kind
It's
of cool.
crazy, yeah. So it's like it's really interesting. And Curaleaf does as well. They have like an interesting well, the Curaleaf, the one criticism I have about Curaleaf is during the pandemic that and this again, this is I guess people they have like these small lobbies, so they kind of like had all these people crowding in there. But then they did switch to the delivery format, so you could get it, but it was hard to obviously get it first because everyone was doing it. But I think they've got it more buttoned up now, and Trulieve I think doesn't deliver as far as I know, but and the other ones don't. I think they're all kind of just go in and pick up kind of deal.
Thanks. We're getting the lowdown here for anybody trying to check it out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Florida. It's if you have any, hit me up if you have any questions. But like, I really think we kind of. It's funny. I have like this relationship with myself and pot where like I'll go, all right, I'm just gonna do Sortera because it's really clean and I'm gonna be good and healthy. And then I'm like, oh, but they have rainbow sherbet cookie cake at Cureleaf. Let me try that. And I'm like, and I'll do that for like a week, and then I'm like, ugh, and I feel it. And I'm like, all right, back to Sortera. Then I go back to so it's good to switch. And also if you're looking to get high and you're looking to use it medicinally at least, like I think it's good because it changes up the strains a lot and it changes up the different components. Because I swear the dispensaries have you can go to like a Granddaddy Purple at Sortera is totally different from Granddaddy Purple at Cureleaf, and it's what they're putting in it beside and how they're blending it. So I would say like switch it up till you find the right one that works with you, and like gives you the good stuff, and it'll keep you consistently high because, as you get tolerant, you switch to a different dispensary, you get those different ingredients and terpenes and in different delivery formats. So it kind of helps you build up your tolerance and not to one specific thing. And it's so funny because I'm so high right now. I'm focused right on my face in this camera and I have to stop looking at it. Oh, wow.
I thought you were looking at me. Well,
Sarah.
so it sounds like carts are the go-to for you, huh?
Carts, yeah, we have definitely like carts, and we have a God, do I reveal this story? Oh my God, how can I be as vague book as possible so the person doesn't get exposed? But there's a person in Florida that does this program on TV. They're on a TV program, and they're known as the cart lady because we know that they sell carts or they do carts. So when this person comes on the TV, it's like a drinking game. You take a sip of tea or whatever. We hit a hit of our pen, except this person's kind of on the news every night. So so we see them on our TV every day, and it's like a trigger. And we're like, cart lady, get our cart pen. So we get running at our carts, and we take like 10 pens every time she does a story. It's a nightmare when she's hosting it or she's the anchor because then we're totally blitzed. But it's it's really funny. Oh my God, I hope there was no way she would ever see this. And I'm so vague as possible. So but yeah, carts, long story short, carts are the way to go for us with us.
Do you do edibles at all?
We do. I haven't in a while. So Sotura has chocolate bars now. They do chocolate edibles. So it's so easy at this point to just get edibles. I think that I've kind of forgot about it. So I might actually go get some this weekend. But yeah, they have gummies. They have candies, mints, all that kind of crazy stuff.
Nice.
Oh, it's 4:20 here. Okay, 30 seconds.
Okay, let's get the countdown.
Uh-oh. Oh, shoot.
Little smoke break. Everybody take one with us.
Oh God, I hope I can finish this interview. All right.
You're chilling.
Okay.
You're chilling. You mentioned a weed hangover earlier, and I had one the other day. It gets me with edibles. It can be a real thing.
So that's actually my question is there are certain strains of marijuana that I smoke and also have ingested as an edible. And my roommate, my partner, also does the same thing. And we both wind up and we get horrible stomach aches, like cramping, and it lasts throughout the day and stuff. And it seems to be with like these particular strains. Is that something that really can happen? Like you can like causes like this just horrible like upset stomach the next day and all. And it's always from well, the one is strawberry. It's a strawberry strain. So I don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but throwing it out there.
That's interesting. I don't know if I've had it. I could have, but yeah, that's interesting to think about because I always thought, because I have had that like some stomach stuff before, but it's because I chalked it up as to the oils that I made. I was like, maybe I had too much olive oil, maybe I had a little too much coconut oil in my homemade stuff. Is what I was thinking maybe it was, but interesting.
It's almost like I equivocate it to, it's like a sour stomach that I get, like, and then it's just like your stomach turns really sour and you want to like heave really bad, and then it goes away like after like 30 seconds or a minute, but then it's just horrible. And then throughout the day, you're kind of like always just bleh. It's somebody had actually pointed out it could have had something to do with MCT oil because that was what they were cutting some of the carts with that were getting people sick. But I know MCT oil is so common now, so I don't know how it could be that.
Okay, yeah, I was even thinking, yeah, just edible. So this was when you were smoking a strawberry cart, you were saying.
Both. So it's interesting. The oil, it was happening with the oil. We were taking the oil and I'm feeling it. And then the carts, and we had the same thing happen. So I was like, I wonder if it's something, a terpene in the strawberry family that's like not agreeing with us, or something maybe that's known and people don't like it. So I don't know.
Interesting. This is you got me motivated to do some research on this for sure.
Good. I can't wait to see. I'll definitely be first in line because I mean, we start. And the funny part is the strawberry works really well for my anxiety. So it's hard because it's like I want to like, oh gosh, what works well.
And those are the only times you've kind of felt that way from it.
when I first started doing got my card and I was smoking, I would happen to have it a lot. I guess because I wasn't used to it. Remember, I like 38 years old, I've never smoked marijuana before, so my body was like, "What the hell is this?" So I think there was like a year or two of adjustment with it, but that kind of calmed down. And now, yeah, it only seems to be exacerbated by like certain strains, which is like the strawberry, and I think that's basically it.
Yeah, there is something too that I did a little bit of research on that's like the cannabis hypermesis syndrome or whatever.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
some people get adverse effects to it and kind of feel nauseous and might even puke and stuff like that. But it doesn't sound that
Yeah.
intense for you. So, like, I don't know. That's crazy though. But yeah, I've felt
Yeah.
it when I made some oils and stuff, and I just chalked it up as like I might have just eaten too many oils. And also for me, I think also to your point as well is a lot of the stuff I use is trim and shake, um,
Mhm.
leftovers kind of. So I think that's part of the reason maybe I get a hangover because it's like
Mhm.
in a sense almost like like if I use like grade A extract or nug, like it probably wouldn't have the same long lasting effects in terms of the hangover. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think that, and the fun, interesting thing is like I've never had a. No, I'm gonna. You know what? I take that back because I think one of the carts is for Sortira that I have the stomach ache with. So I don't think it's even the quality per se. I think it might be like more an ingredient, but that's kind of like my benchmark. I'm like if something's good at Sortera or is that Sortera, like I'll know that it's the best. Like
Yeah, you'll know
if
it's
it's not good
legit.
there, it's not gonna be anywhere else. What was that?
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, you'll know it's legit. Yeah, I bought a shitty applicator the other day that was strawberry, like a month ago now, but it just like smelled like lip gloss, tasted like shit. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, if it's smelling, that's the thing too, is like if it's smelling and tasting like fruity pebbles, it's fun, but like you got to also question what is making it taste like fruity pebbles? Like what are they putting in there? So, it kind of becomes are they like using poison and disguising it as like, candy or like, and is it worth it? If you're just looking to get high, do you need to, have fruity pebbles on the side and just get high with fruity pebbles?
Yeah.
I
For
sort of got like I am such an impulse buyer at the dispensaries because I'll go there and then I'll get whatever I'm getting and they'll have some kind of crazy new, and I call them flavor, or like because it sounds like a flavor. It's like lemon sherbet, chocolate pie, and I'm like, oh my god, give me three of those. And like, what does it do? And like, I don't know, like give it to me. So I got to watch that, and that's what I would say. Beware of that too when you go. Don't get overwhelmed with the crazy display of like, because they make it very appealing, and they have their own. Sometimes they have their own like tiki masala that I would think was that one last week. Some
well,
crazy
that sounds
Alaskan.
crazy.
It was, I don't know. It was good though. It was hella good, but um, you got to, and that was VitaCan, I think, to shout them out. Um, you got to just there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of variety. So.
And with the variety in terms of the carts, is it mostly like distillate carts, or do they have like are some live resin ones around and some like rosin ones? And
Yeah, a lot of the dispensaries try to mask what they're doing, and they kind of rebrand it because you got to remember a lot of the consumers here are a vast majority of them are elderly, so they try to package it in a way that's going to be appealing to them versus that's going to be informational to like someone that smokes marijuana. So you got to peel back some of the layers. Sortera, I think, has some stuff that they don't even tell you what strain it is. They're like, it's the relaxed strain. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like the relaxed strain. I'm like, okay, what
well,
is that? That's not on Leafly. Where did I look that up?
well, and I like that
Um,
you said that too because they're just catering to their like demo, which is interest, which makes sense almost. But like, it's gonna be crazy when somebody comes in, right, and just defines their niche to the younger crowd. They could just fucking basically own that whole market, right?
there's some of them that are trying to be edgier, and I think those are the cheaper ones, like the One Plant and Grow Healthy or Move, and like they're ones like that are trying to enter the space, I think, and be more hip, but they're not as big yet, like as the Sortera. Because again, you got to remember the population is also majority of the people that have their cards are elderly. So I think that's kind of their hand is forced. So as much as they want to, like until I think it becomes recreational, that's not going to explode, I think, with these fun like little kind of underground dispensaries and places like that. So hopefully if we get I think the game on, if we get, because with the party scene down here, Miami and Fort Lauderdale and West Palm, like if you legalize marijuana, it's going to be crazy.
Well,
Spring break.
and I'm happy you said that, because I was going to say it even a moment ago too, is with like this whole California like exodus thing, so many people leaving or whatever. I feel like is kind of already a hot spot, but if it was fully legal there'd be a lot of people way more just like, I don't know, the whole scene
They
will
would go
blow up.
insane. It's
It,
it's you know it's yeah.
no, yeah, not that it's not already, but yeah, it'd just be insane. Yeah.
Well, it's growing where I am in I don't say the area, and like I'm like kind of north central Florida, but like it's growing so fast. Like there's like houses going up on blocks like every other week, and I just moved I just moved into a bigger house with a studio, which is very blessed, but like
Nice, nice.
people are like, but they're snatching them up down here like crazy because everyone wants to come here, I think. And like you said, if second this becomes like fully legal, I think it's going to be game on. And it's also, I think it will hopefully also increase the quality. I think that what's going to happen though is the benchmark is going to be like a Sortera, even at the recreational level, and then people are going to have to meet that benchmark, and it's still going to be expensive. So they're going to be competing, I think, within the niches, like the high expensive pot, and then the middle tiers, like the Cura leaves and the True leaves come in with their recreational, peers, and then so I don't think the price is going to jump that too much. It's still going to stay similar, but we'll see.
Well, and when it does become recreational federally, which hopefully happens sooner than later, that's when the real competition is going to come in too, I think, to see, all of a sudden Trulieve or whoever it is, or somebody in some other state who hasn't been established, has to compete with these big people in the West Coast or whoever it is who have, when it's direct to consumer, it's kind of game. It might be, it's going to be really interesting to see how the game develops, but there'll
Yeah.
probably be some laws passed where certain shit's restricted, but it'll be interesting to see. Not saying that they can't compete right now, but like, I don't know.
Well, I think what would happen is they would come in and they would probably, the consumer being the older people are going to probably tend to be loyal to they're not going to want to change the game because it's what they know and they're comfortable with. So I think it would take a while for the bigger people to enter the space on the medical level. They could come in recreationally and snatch up those people. But I think it would give them a little bit of time to adjust and kind of adapt however they're gonna their strategy against the new places. So I hope that like Sortera and all of them stick around. It'll be interesting. I mean, some of them I think could go away. There's a lot kind of that don't. There's some that you question, like the quality of it all. I don't even think I've gone to, but there's a lot of them. So as long as they continue to grow, I think it's better for us because we'll find that we'll get more strains and more deals, and it's going to be better for the consumer either way. So
True that. True that. And a thought popped in my head too. Like when it is legal, imagine like a state map, right? And then each state just has like a little 1 gram nug jar on it. And it's like somebody combines the best gram from every state and puts it together. So he's smoking the best shit from every state I don't know. I'm stoned.
Super Florida. No, I am too, man. Super Florida. I mean, I think it's just like you try and get the best of the best, like with strains down here, and it's very what's the word? It's like the Wizard of Oz, a lot of it, because it's done like behind the curtain. I guess that's intentional in a way because to present it for the older people to make it more mysterious, but they'll go on the back and they'll like, we got to check the office and see if we have the strain. And they do like double checks and they're like, can we get a triple check over here? And they're like,
Oh, damn.
it's very transactional, very like a bank, like very like you're extorting, like you're taking out gold from a bank. Like that's what it feels like sometimes.
Dang, that sounds, yeah, they go, we got to do a quadruple check over here. You got to come into the back and
it's like quadruple, and then they're like, it'll be like okay, let me take another hit now. I kind of want to match your giggles with.
Taking this thing's yeah, Absolute Extracts is this vape I'm smoking on here. They do pretty good stuff. They're throughout California. It's pretty solid for the most part. I like their live resin shit the most, but this one's still pretty good.
What's the strain?
Oh shit. This is the fuck, dude.
Oh.
I'm spacing out. I'll look it right now.
This is Sortera Hover.
Hover?
Okay, so this is this is what they used to do, Sortera, is they used to have like these weird names like hover, dream, float, and all this stuff. And then you would never know and be like, what is hover? That's not a strain. Then they, they like finally released the names of them. So this is Pineapple Express, their version
Oh,
of
it's
Pineapple
okay,
Express.
word. That's the thing about some of these is they do taste really good.
Hmm.
But like that's why I like even the color of this one. You probably can't see, but it's like a darker.
Yeah, it's an indica.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was though. I thought it was I don't want to say the wrong thing. I
Wait, can you
ordered
show me the symbol? Wait, that show me that is that's the one that I think I got from like the tiki masala. Oh no, oh, no, it's a different one. It was very similar, like the tiki
tiki
masala
masala
card.
sounds like some crazy shit.
And that's probably wasn't even it. It's just me being high and not remembering the name properly, but it was very similar to tiki masala.
Blackberry
Um,
Kush. Blackberry
oh,
Kush.
Blackberry Kush. That's OG. OG is good. That's good.
Yeah, so this one here is, and that's the crazy thing about the prices you were saying, because this thing's pretty solid. Um, let me see how much the price is on here though. I'm just looking at my delivery service. It's 41 bucks for a gram.
Holy crap, that's so
But
cheap.
they're usually a little more expensive. I would spend an extra like 20 and get 60 for a gram of some like more bomb shit. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
crazy sometimes. But like you said, I'll pay for quality though. I almost bought a fucking $70 eighth yesterday, but I'm like, fuck that.
So wait, do you think when Florida legalizes recreationally, will we see what are the price like? Do you think it's going to match like what California is doing with price wise?
That's what's interesting is that I feel like there's going to be a little more competition, but it sounds like a kind of a different structure. So there's quite not
Yeah.
maybe as much competition. But that's why if I was saying if it was federally and you could actually ship like Canada can, all of a sudden somebody charging 90 for a cart can get the same one from Cali maybe for 60. There's going to be
Oh,
there's it might I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how things play out like that.
you know what? Yeah, because I could just have my aunt or my friend in New York buy a cart for $20. That's just as good as one that I'm paying from the dispensary. So and ship it. That totally makes sense. But I guess then then you're going to get a lot of scams of people. I feel like shipping carts, like fake
Yeah.
carts and all that
Yeah,
stuff. So
that's
it opens up a Pandora's box. I mean,
yeah.
theoretically, you could ship carts now. I guess you just can't. You can't legally do it. You could physically put it in the mail. You just can't
Yeah.
guarantee that you're not going to get arrested from doing it.
Yeah.
So,
But
but and we don't advocate that. But to say that
seriously, yeah, yeah.
disclaimer.
That's where the whole cart game's crazy, and that's where I don't buy them from random people. I do buy them from dispensaries usually, unless my buddies
Well,
give me a couple. But
that's kind of how I started too. Is I was someone gave me a hit of a pen, and I think it was like right after we shot the Tan Mom video, and it was like I need something to calm me down. And I was like, wow, I was just high for hours and hours and hours. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I realized, it helped with my anxiety. So I, talked to my doctor about it and he was like, yeah, absolutely. And he prescribed it for me. I got my card and all that stuff. So it was interesting because I'm too high. I forgot. I lose my train of
how
thought
much
when I
did
get
that
too high.
process cost you to get the card and all
All
after
right.
all said and done?
It was 150 for the application. Oh no, it was 150 I think for the doctor visit, and then it was like another 95 for the application. So it was like 250 initially. And then it's weird because what happened was the doctor is supposed to prescribe it for 90 days. So you get a prescription, which, they give you. And it's like a pharmacy. You go in and you buy marijuana with your amount of marijuana ounces with your prescription. Um, but what happens is supposedly you can have a lot of milligrams left over in your prescription. If it's past the 90 days, it automatically expires. So like you can have 20,000 milligrams in your prescription, which is about like 20 carts, 20-gram carts. If you don't use that the next day after it expires, it goes to zero. And you have to go see your doctor again and he has to refresh the prescription. But all it basically is kind of them just charge. I don't know, even know. Since the
So you
pandemic,
have to
like I
go
have
every so you have to go get it recharged every month or no? Only if it
it's 90 days, but there was a time when my doctor, before he left, because unfortunately my doctor left, he said that, yeah, I'll just like keep refilling it and I didn't have to see him. So it was like a good like 6 month period, I think, where I just kept renewing itself. I was like, that's great. And then that stopped and they went back to 3 months again. So I think this goes back to the regulation again. They're rolling back regulations. So now I think it's every 3 months again. I have to like kind of just pay to say, yeah, it's great. Marijuana is helping. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's kind of
and that's
crazy
it.
right there in itself that it's so frequently that you have to
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
kind of. I
Yeah,
guess
that's
it's regulated. It goes to
yeah.
the regulation. So
Yeah, I remember when I came
hopefully.
out here and got my card, it cost $40 in a couple hours. I was like, all right.
That's crazy. And it was recreational when you got your card.
No, not it wasn't yet.
Okay.
But still, yeah, they have all the shit set up on the beaches and shit for like all types of people hustling just to do a quick one. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. But
It's
so every go
expensive. I guess probably because they want, I guess again, the older people, I guess they figure have money, so they come here and they want to charge them for it.
yeah, and I guess it the kind of just does have that different feel, that medicinal feel of that, you kind of are going to check in, see what's good. Maybe the doctor wants to prescribe something else, although he probably just writes the same thing every time. But I kind of understand why they would like that for sure. But
Yeah, I mean, I was nice actually. When I was seeing my doctor before he like left, it was just kind of I was a check-in, and then it kind of after since COVID, it kind of became just a process. Like, where's your money? You need a refill, and it was like there was no interaction really. So I don't know. Maybe it was the pandemic's fault, but it was just kind of like I just see another doctor at this point. Just gonna go.
yeah, it sounds like a legit, the way they have it set up sounds like legit. You're going to like CVS, go see the doctor, get a script, like you're saying, even with the drop down thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's like it's very this it's models after like traditional, I guess, healthcare, which which is good. I love that because it makes it validates it.
true that. Yeah, I need to see more. I know there's like a couple drive-throughs out here. I know there's a bunch in Vegas, but there needs to be more drive-throughs, I think, just in general.
Yeah, it's
In Florida.
really it's great, especially with COVID, because you don't have to go in the dispensary and you just literally pull up to the window and you drive away and you get it. And so it's very safe. And I think like even beyond COVID, it'll be easy. It's just easy peasy to like do that than having to go in. And there's still a little bit like I feel like it's really starting to break down, but there's a little bit of stigma, I think, still with the going into the dispensary here and buying like, oh my gosh. But I think what Florida is doing really, really, really well, or the Florida marijuana scene is doing really well, is they are making it so comfortable in the aesthetic and in the way that they're presenting their stores. Like Sortera, literally, like you walk in and they're old banks, so like you get this sort of majesty feel, like you're very like in a place that's very clean and very professional, and it's like not dirty, and there's this is a place you could bring your kid into and wait with you in the waiting room. So I think that's kind of the one thing that a lot of the dispensaries got right here. I like it. I think we're spoiled with it.
And I imagine too, that sounds awesome too, just like a castle feel. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
um
Like,
oh sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, yeah. It's like you feel like you're, you feel special when you walk in there. Like it's a really good experience.
Makes me want to go check one out. Next time I'm in Florida, my sister's there. I'm gonna go try to visit her soon. So shoot, what was I was gonna say something in regards to the oh yeah. So when you're going into the dispensaries there, I imagine they don't give you anything that you can kind of like look outside of the jar. If you're buying flour, you can't smell it or anything, like you can't check it out.
No, I haven't bought. I'm trying to think if I've actually bought Bud Bear, but I don't think they do that. Yeah, it's all. What I think they will do is they'll package it for you, and then I think you're allowed to inspect it before you take it. Like they're allowed to show it to you, but they won't. I think that's probably what. Yeah, they'll probably allow you to like, but it has to be packaged. So they won't just give you like, here's the big, jar of it. Does this look good? They're gonna put it in a prescription bottle for you and say, this is what you got. Like, is it okay? And I think they probably will work with you if you're not happy. I know there was one time with Certera where something happened and she was just like, it was like $300, and she was just like, just take it, just take it. I was like, are you sure? I was like, okay. They like it was a transaction that like it was just the credit card machine wasn't working or something. I was like, okay, thanks, bye. Like. So I did shout them out on social media, I think. So like, I hopefully that
Oh, we've been
made
giving
up
them
for
some
it.
love too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's
we're open to sponsorships, Tara. We love you. So
yeah. Let's get that sponsorship for real. Well, what's interesting out here is what I was going to say is they have both kind of. I can go to a store where they'll have the whole jar and you can take it out and look at it and
Hmm.
smell it, and then there's some
Hmm.
that just have it all prepackaged, so it's interesting to see the difference in that, but there's something cool about seeing the big jar and being like, big, "Oh, I wanna see this one," and smell like,
The
there's something
candy,
cool
yeah.
about that experience, so,
Scooped up.
yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to think, like Soterra does it in the back. Curaleaf, I think, has most of it out, although the bud, I'm trying to think, is probably in the back too. But I think they're all like very strict with their order. That's why they do the double, triple, quadruple checks. They won't expose you to the marijuana until the point of like you're actually like finalizing a transaction. It's like, I think of it like a gold bar. Like they're giving you, that's how they treat it. Like it's so precious, I guess. So I don't want to get in trouble because
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like a
regulations.
briefcase with the handcuff on it.
Yeah, yeah, it's like the bomb, and yeah, exactly. Like the packaging, like here you go.
Oh, shoot.
So,
No, it's cool to learn about the different scenes and how it's kinda going down in the different places, man. Did you have a you mentioned at the jump that you had some other questions, that you might shoot at me.
oh, I think that was the main question, was the strawberry thing, because that's been my I mean, and the other question is kind of like I pretty much know the answer to, is the strains that make you more anxious and give you the like panicky feeling and you kind of stay away from. Um and I guess it varies from person to person, right? It's like different people have different experiences on different strains.
Yep, I'd say so. I'd say that, like, kind of the overall theme that I kinda gather is that sativas, like you were mentioning earlier, can give you a little more of that anxiety, that little headspace feeling, at least from people I've talked to and even myself, but yeah, that's something that's interesting though that I've need to dive more into is like actually studying the strains more. Like when I buy it, actually like I've done it for some, but like really study up on it, read it and see if I can notice effects and like do more experiments. But I usually just like get it and smoke it and I'm like, oh, feels good, feels different. But I have got a couple that just have that feeling like you're saying at Sotero for you, where it's just like I just got to get some more of that good shit.
Yep, it's like, well, I'll tell you, like the pineapple express I'm here right now, like it's very kind of, it's slightly euphoric and slightly like kind of putting me in a trance staring at the camera here, but I'm kind of cognizant, I guess, talking to you. Hopefully I'm making sense. Um,
You
but
are,
it's
you
kind
are.
of that, thanks. It's a hybrid. So that's kind of, I think, where I do well with, because the sativas, yeah, they usually make me sometimes over the top. I'll tell you my scariest story with it. There was a time when I was doing edibles 2 years ago, and it was me and my friend and his girlfriend and him, and his girlfriend took the edible with me, and she we took the same amount, and we took 2 drops of this, like, I don't remember if it was like 10 milligrams, so I don't think it was that much, but turned out it was a lot more than we thought or whatever. And she wound up like having a black hole like marijuana experience, where she like thought she was dying and couldn't escape. This like was like crawled up in a ball, and like it was terrifying, and we were all watching this unfold as I was like high, like from this edible, and it was terrifying. And my friend, thank God, was a doctor, is in the medical field, he's like, she's fine, she's got to pass, like, just calm down, try to just stay with her the whole night. But it was like, it was terrifying, because it was just seeing her like go in that dark, deep hole. And it was a strain afterwards that we like never had again. And it was ironically a Sortera strain. So I don't know if I should say it, but it was just, we had really bad experiences with it, and I don't know what was in it, but we've stayed away from it. I don't even know if they still make it.
That
Hopefully they don't.
that's crazy. So does she still smoke or consume weed at all?
They broke up, so I don't talk to her anymore.
Okay.
But I think afterwards she kind of scaled back. I don't know if she still has or hasn't, but it was traumatizing for her, I'm sure. Traumatizing for all of us, because it was just like, it
I've
was
had that
just
happen like once to me too. Like with my brother, it was like Halloween. I'd already smoked for many years and I was in high school and we smoked some shit and like, we started like freaking out. We thought like shit was going down, like ran into like the woods, like what are we doing? Like what the fuck is
yeah.
going on? Still to this day, I'm like, that's the weirdest shit I've ever smoked in my life. I don't know what it was. It's
It's there's some strains that actually, yeah, that I have that crazy feeling. And there was like a banana kush I think I had one time, and it was like I had a panic attack. I like went back to bed and I started shaking, and I was like, why am I like? I was like, crap, I'm having a panic attack, and it was from I think it was from the Kush. I think, and I think it was ironically an indica, but it was from. I think it was from like a dispensary that wasn't. It goes back to quality. It was like a $20 cart, and it was like who knows what else was in it, but it's like buyer beware.
Yeah, it's crazy that those experiences are out there, you know, even for people that love it so much, but it'd be so hard to have it your first time. And that's where I can see where people don't like weed is if they had an experience like that, like, and I know people that have as well. It's like you don't want to I'd be like, I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's like yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was quite something. I mean, I've had experiences with, other drugs. To say like, not that I've done very few drugs in my life, but I've had like a doctor there and been okay with them. Like when I had my arm surgery, my elbow kind of popped out of my arm when I was younger, and they had to like reattach it. It was crazy and graphic, but
Yeah.
they gave me ketamine on the so the operating table because I guess they didn't have anesthesia. I don't know, or it was so quick. But that was the craziest high or experience I've ever had in my life. I was like
Shit.
awake on ketamine while they were like operating on my arm, and
Damn.
so
Oh
that
shit.
was that was nuts. But that was like I compare that to like a good sativa, a really good sativa that I've never had before of a strain.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Yeah, I remember I did
Yeah.
laughing gas when I got my wisdom teeth removed, and I was just like, my mom was there, and she was like, "You're saying all types of weird shit." To like, I was like, "What's going on?" Like, I'm like, "Did it happen?" She said like I like woke up and like started freaking out, like I was in like some place. I'm like, it's crazy, but yeah, that was a fun time. The little laughing gas.
That's funny. My mom said the same thing. She's like, when you were on I guess I was talking while I was on the K, and I was telling them all like, I know Lindsay Lohan's father, and we have a reality show coming out, and they thought I thought I was crazy, but I did actually have that at the time that was happening. So she was like, no, he's not crazy. That actually is happening. I don't know why he's talking about it. He's just crazy right now, but so it was quite funny.
Just like your arm getting worked on, all calm, like, yeah, yeah, I just got this going on.
Yeah, yeah, I'm working with those
Oh,
guys. Yeah. It's
so,
actually was
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was to say one more thing. It was weird. I remember the one thing about my arm. I thought there was like a cotton candy. It looked like like it was almost like a Simpsons episode when they get high. Like it was like my hand turned into cotton candy, and then at the end it was like all wound up with the cast, whatever they were doing to it. So it was weird. It was very
Oh shit! You try to take a bite afterwards?
weird. By the time I was able to. It wore off, and I was like, oh no, no, I don't want to
Yeah,
do
like, oh shit! Break a
that.
tooth on the cast.
No.
Well, so with what you got going on, how often you dropping videos, man?
So we have two new shows. There's our big show, The Tea, which is every Friday night at 8 p.m. On my YouTube channel. And then on Sundays, we have Blame It on YouTube, which is kind of a recap of the live. And then Wednesday is kind of like a wild card where I'm just going to post kind of, whatever tickles my fancy that week.
Going hard, going hard. I'll make sure to tune in the best I can for real.
Definitely. We would love to have you actually on The Tea. You should join us as a special guest.
Hey, I'd love to be there.
All right, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, let me know when. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, that's that takes some work, huh? Like you're saying, it's YouTube's can be a beast, but
Oh yeah, it's like I sit here, but it's a labor of love though. So I think that, like you and I are people that really love what we do. So it kind of is reflected in this. So, it's not for everyone because if you don't have, I think, creativity, then it's not a platform you probably want to get into. But if you
yeah,
do have creativity, I think you thrive really well here.
real talk, real talk. So yeah, I'll of course drop links below so everybody can check your stuff out. Put something in the card as well um, for people that are
Awesome.
watching it. And yeah, just appreciate you coming on today, man. Taking your time. I'll be excited to collab again and see what happens. And thanks for the breakdown too of the Florida scene. It's really interesting to see. I feel like I say Florida really weird, but uh,
Florida, Florida,
Florida, Florida.
Florida. It's adorable.
I'm
Florida,
like Florida.
Florida, Florida.
But no, yeah, thanks for all the insight and just a great conversation today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, and definitely check out Nikki Fried. If Florida, she's on the track to legalize it, so follow her and promote her. I think we should. So
I like it. I like it. I'll put it below too, and I'll probably clip out one of those segments for a clip or so. So
nice,
that's what's up. That's what's up here. I'm just
awesome.
gonna end this here.